"Martha, when did you meet your Vicky aunt?" "Didn't you go to the library?" inquired Mrs. Swift with a surprised yet baffled expression. "Rebecca, I will explain everything to you. She never really went to the library. She came to me to discuss a problem which you ignored." Mrs. Fernwald commenced the narration of the entire happenings of the afternoon with highlights. "Oh, that is just a nightmare, Victoria. If she's indeed hallucinating, then why is the same nightmare disturbing her? Why does she see the same shadowy figure at sharp 3 a.m. every morning? Don't you think it's quite peculiar?" interrupted Mrs. Fernwald. Mrs. Swift reflected for quite some time and then invited Mrs. Fernwald into the living room. "I'll get you something to eat. What would you like to have?" "I am not here to enjoy refreshments. I am here to discuss the paranormal occurrences that haunt Martha. I need you to tell me the story of the couple that lived here before you guys arrived." "Ah, an old couple inhabited this house. The old woman loved this house beyond belief and never wanted the man to sell it. That's what she said to the old man on her deathbed as well. But maybe the man found it a burden to tend to the house alone, or perhaps he felt short of money, which made him sell the house to us. Since then, we have been living here." "Okay, do you know where the woman died?" "Oh yes. Joseph says she died in Martha's room. That's what the man told him. However, we don't believe in ghouls, so we never really thought much about it." Things had now become clear to Martha as well as Mrs. Fernwald. Martha's eyes twinkled. "We have put half of the jigsaw puzzle together. Now for the second half. Why does the woman stare at you with pleasure? And why does she always visit you at 3 a.m.? For answers to these, I will have to speak to that soul," said Mrs. Fernwald. Mrs. Fernwald decided to spend the night in Martha's room and perform the Ouija setup. The next morning, she spoke to Martha. The old woman states that she had a granddaughter who was just your age, and thus, she loved seeing you every night. She further explained that she died at 3 a.m. in the morning, and her attachment towards the house compels her to visit it every time. Her soul isn't able to rest in peace because of her intense love for the house. "Oh, then how can her soul be made to rest in peace?" inquired Martha, who was by now curious as well as freaked out. "I'll visit the church and speak to the priest. Maybe he can suggest something." Saying so, Mrs. Fernwald patted Martha's back affectionately and left. She returned after 2 hours, which seemed like forever for Martha. "What did the priest say?" leaped Martha, who popped the question as soon as Vicky had entered. "Well, he is advised to read the Bible more often in the room and to put up the cross there." Saying so, Vicky had handed the cross to Martha. "Honey, he will be coming here to perform some holy rituals in the evening. Don't worry. He has promised that the soul would definitely attain liberation after the ritual. Cheers, Aunt. You are the best. You need not thank me, dear. I am glad I could help you." Saying so, Vicky Aunt gave a bear hug to Martha and kissed her on the cheeks. In the evening, the doorbell rang. The priest, dressed in white with a rosary around his neck and a Bible in hand, made his way to the haunted room. "I will be performing an important ritual for which I may have to lock myself in this room. Please make sure that I receive no disturbance whatsoever, and if possible, please stay away from this room tonight." Saying so, the priest bolted the door and started the ritual. The priest finally appeared in the morning. Mrs. Swift offered him breakfast and thanked him. Before leaving, the priest provided certain instructions. "I have installed the Holy Cross right above the bed. The soul, though, has attained liberation. The cross should not be moved from its place. Make sure that the interiors of the room aren't meddled with. Also, more and more biblical reading in that room is always welcome. It will help create a sacred and peaceful atmosphere. Thank you very much." "We shall definitely abide by these instructions," said Mrs. Swift. "Good for you. God bless." Saying so, the priest left. After that holy ritual, Martha never met that old woman again.